Hey, what's going on, everyone? Dennis here, EDC for Fun. Today we're going to be taking a look at this magnificent beast. So this is the Vosteed Gator. This is as Vosteed calls it, a hard use EDC knife. It is on the larger side. The blade is just under 4 inches. Overall length is just over 9 inches. Weight is just over 6 ounces. And as you can see, this one's a little bit mucked up because I've been carrying it for the last almost week or so since I got it, and really enjoying using this knife. You can see it's got these micarta or Richlight scales with this really great frag pattern on them. Edges are contoured. You've got a recessed pocket clip, so that's why you see this blank here in the back. Got a lanyard hole, which I would have rather they put a back spacer in there with a lanyard slot, particularly because they put this copper pivot collar on there. And if they would have done a copper back spacer with a post for the pivot, that would have looked really good, in my opinion. But anyway, so this was let's see, I think listed for $69. I got it on a scratch and dent at White Mountain Knives because it had a scratch on it. But as you can see, I've got a ton more scratches than the one it came with, so I really didn't care about that. So I got a few bucks off. Plus I had a 10% off discount, so that was pretty cool. As you can see, it is a front flipper. It flips really nicely. The detent is a little bit light. You can shake it out. It doesn't fly out, but it's not super light to where it's going to fail. The back flipper works really well. Yes, there's a back flipper also. It's tiny. You almost can't even see it. So you do have multiple deployments. You've got the back flipper. You've got the front flipper. Oops. Look at that. While I'm on it right here, it does have a late detent. So right there is where the detent breaks, and sometimes it does back up there if you're not careful. Anywho, so you can see the profile here of the handle gives you some really good ergonomics. You've got this downward angle here with this jimped spine that the jimping runs through the handle. So if you're holding it all the way back here, you've got an excellent purchase. And when you put this thing down on a surface, you've got pretty much enough clearance for your knuckles where you're not banging your knuckles into, whatever you're cutting on. So with this having 14C28N blade steel, which is very corrosion resistant, this actually makes a very good food prep knife. So with the ergonomics, the blade steel, really good combination there. So we also have stainless steel liners that are milled out. The pivot is captive, so you only have tooling on one side. The hardware is T8 on the pivot, T6 on the body screws, which sucks. I wish, especially for a knife this big, that they would use T8 all the way around, and then T6 on the pocket clip. That's kind of par for the course. So the fit and finish of this guy is actually really nice, especially for a sub $100 knife. Everything's flush, rounded, just finished really nicely. You can see you got a swedge on this, the top of this sheep's foot blade here, which looks really nice. That helps keep the weight down a little bit too, but stylistically, it's also a really nice choice. Blade came centered. I've been thumping on this thing, and it is a little bit loose, but it didn't come that way. I haven't bothered to do anything yet because I wanted to get this thing taken apart and cleaned up before I do that. But it came rock solid. I've been chopping with it and just, kind of going ham. So I'm not surprised it did loosen up a little bit. That being said, there's not a ton of blade play, but I can definitely feel it wobble a little bit. But like I said, that's because I've been beating on this thing. There's no lock rock, so that's really good. It is a liner lock, so when we take it apart, I'm going to take a look at that engagement and see if there's any marring in there from the use that I've been doing on it. There shouldn't be. I don't feel any, like I said, when I move it up and down, but I do want to take a look at it. And you can see we're about 30-ish% on the lockup. You can also see while we're looking at that The jimping on the lock bar is really nice. Definitely got a lot of access there to it as well. So, you know, disengaging the lock, manipulating this knife is very comfortable. It is very, very fun to use, and just overall, just a really, really great design. So let's go ahead and take a look inside, get this thing cleaned up, and see what it looks like inside. Okay, now we've got everything cleaned up. We'll go ahead and take a look at this blade. You can see all the scratches in there. So this is the one it came with, and then all these are from me using it. I do wish they would have stonewashed this thing. The scratches don't necessarily bother me, but I mean, you could see it's a fingerprint magnet. And the thing that gets me is they stonewashed the liners. So the liners are stonewashed, but the blade's not. Why wouldn't you just do the blade? I mean, that would have really set this off. CJRB does a really, really nice job on their stonewash. I'd like to see more people doing that, more companies rather. But, you know, especially for a, you know, heavy-duty EDC knife, you probably want a finish that's going to hide scratches a little bit better and hide fingerprints and whatnot, hide muck or, you know, all that nonsense. You can see the stop pin, you know, is internal on this guy in the blade there. So you've got this track that it rides through and gets you to stop right back there. Take a look at the track from the detent ball. Got a couple kind of errant marks there. I'm not sure what that's from, but everything else looks smooth and normal. Here's where the lock bar meets the blade. Got a little bit of marring there. A little bit of marring there. That's about normal. Again, this, even though it's a heavy duty, so they say, EDC knife, any folding knife, you know, is going to have limitations. You can say, you know, well, cold steel, triad lock, and all that kind of stuff. And I agree with you. But okay, so the weirdest thing happened. My camera stopped working. We're a couple hours later from everything you just watched, and the file disappeared. I thought I lost it all, and all of a sudden it just randomly showed up on my phone. Completely baffled. But anyway, so I'm picking up from where basically I got cut off. Of course, you obviously don't see that, but I'm telling you about it. I got the knife cleaned up, got it put back together, went back together smooth. I got some KPL on the bearings, and this thing is just running freaking great. This is, you know, just a really, really good knife, especially for the money, guys. Multiple deployments, back flipper, front flipper. You got the opening hole, which you can reverse flick. Cool materials, great design, very functional, very usable, and can definitely take a pounding. So really quick, I do want to just kind of give you some kind of sense for the size of this thing. I know I read you the specs, but here it is next to a PM2 and a Pair 3. So you can kind of see what you're working with here. A lot of people think the PM2 is a large knife. I'm not saying it's not. For me, it's kind of a mid-sized knife. But like I said, this guy's over 9 inches, got just about a 4-inch blade, and you can see what it looks like next to the PM2 there. Obviously dwarfs the Pair 3. So anyway, last thing I want to say, guys, I do want to give a shout out to Knife Life 116 for turning me on to this knife. I had seen it before. I thought it was cool and figured I might get one at some point. But then I was watching some of his videos and just had another look at it, another perspective, and figured I'd go for it. So definitely give him a look. Go check out his videos, subscribe, and just want to say thanks to him. Thanks to you guys for watching. Thanks to White Mountain Knives for always just being awesome. And that's about it. So thank you. God bless you guys. Have a fantastic day. See you.